How's it going, everyone? In this video, I want to take a look at some of the new games dropping, as this is the final full week in August. September is really gonna pick things up as far as new games, but I have to say this week has some pretty decent releases as well, so let's get right into it. We have 7 games to cover, so let's get into it. Starting things off, we have King's Bounty 2, which is dropping today. This is a game that's getting quite a bit of buzz. The reviews are dropping right now, and they're looking a little mixed. I believe it was sitting at a 70 on Metacritic the last I checked. This is a game that is definitely going to be more akin to people playing on PC, but it is going to be available on a plethora of other platforms as well. The game notes, Legend returns. King's Bounty 2 is the long-awaited sequel to the legendary King's Bounty video game franchise, one of the most iconic representatives of the turn-based RPG genre. This is a game that's going to have a lot of decision-making, a lot of replayability. You can play as one of 3 main heroes, rescuing and building your personal army in a journey of leadership, survival, and sacrifice. Every decision you make has profound and lasting consequences. The game notes, a wide, open, and ripe for world exploration. Unearth hidden places and dangerous enemies. Antra is a vast home to 1,000 wonders and secrets for players to discover. Customizable squad and equipment, tactical depth on the battlefield, and so on and so forth. If you like tactical RPGs with a bit of depth to it, I think King's Bounty 2 might be something worthwhile to check out. Maybe you want to wait for the reviews to continue pouring out. I personally own a copy of the game, and I'm going to be giving it a go later today, so I'll let you guys know how that turns out. I'm excited to give it a shot and see what I think about it. Alright, next up, Darker Skies is dropping tomorrow. This is a game that hasn't been getting a lot of buzz, but this is a brand new horror title that is dropping. Darker Skies survival horror set after the War of the Worlds. The war is over, but the effects linger. Take control of Jack, a survivor of the War of the Worlds, trying to rebuild a working heat ray to blow his way to freedom and light the spark that will rebuild civilization. Explore the horrors of the world after interplanetary war, encounter psychotic enemies suffering from prolonged exposure to red weed, collect parts from fallen tripods and rebuild your own heat ray, and maybe even come face to face with the few surviving Martians themselves. Craft weapons and items and combine them in interesting ways to take out the creatures left by the war, sneak your way past, or shoot just your way through. You decide. So it seems like you can go guns blazing, or you can take the more silent and stealth approach. Darker Skies is scheduled for release on tomorrow, coming from Steel Art Software. The game is going to be released at $17.99, so you can check that out if you're a horror fan come tomorrow. Next up, here's a game I think a lot of people should have on their radar, and that is Baldo the Guardian Owls. Now, this game, from what I'm seeing, is noted for a release on August the 27th, this Friday. The Steam page does note coming soon, and usually when it says coming soon, I'm a little bit weary on if it's going to hit that release. We'll see how it turns out. From what I've heard, the game is out on the 27th, so that should be happening. However, if you don't know about this game, and I imagine a lot of people don't, definitely keep this on your radar. Right away when I looked at the visual style, got complete Ni no Kuni vibes out of it, and you know, that Studio Ghibli art style. I think a lot of people will see those resemblances. The game notes, the prophecy is coming true. A pure heart child has been born. The no heart creatures sealed in the underworld by the wise owls is destined to rise again. Traverse this captivating open world as Baldo and meet a host of quirky and unforgettable characters as you struggle to decipher the cryptic prophecy and thwart destiny. From delightful whimsy to thrilling adventure, discover new towns and their distinctive inhabitants, fight ferocious foes, locate hidden temples, and collect objects both magical and mundane to obtain powerful new weapons or to help unveil the myriad secrets of this strange land. This is a game that hasn't been getting a lot of buzz, but right when I figured out this game was dropping this week, I was like, man, this is a game that I think can take a lot of people by surprise, and it has been getting some attention from a lot of the outlets out there, but not as much as I think it deserves. Keep this one on your radar. Could be something that surprises a ton of people when it drops this Friday. Next up, we have Inked, A Tale of Love, another game that's coming to PlayStation 4 for the first time. It's already been dropped on PC, but right away, this is a game that definitely stood out from a visual standpoint. It will be dropping August 27th. It came out on PC all the way back in April of 2018. The game notes, Inked is a narrative-driven puzzle game set in a world of beautiful ballpoint, pen-drawn landscapes. Playing as the nameless hero, you will solve intriguing puzzles while searching for your love, Aiko. Definitely the visual style is something that you don't see often, and it's got a unique presentation going on for it. The game also notes, explore 10 different hand-drawn paper worlds full of beautiful landscapes, fauna and flora, and awe-inspiring architecture that will marvel you at every step. The path in front of you is full of threats and perils that you'll have to overcome in order to get your loved one back. Use your magical paintbrush to draw geometrical shapes to clear obstacles and solve puzzles. Each puzzle will connect you more with the protagonist and draw you deeper into the world created by the artist. A multi-layered narrative that breaks down the fourth wall, a heartwarming story to comfort your soul as well. So it looks like this is something that is going to be more of a good feel story, that if you're playing some of these darker games these days, hey, Inked: A Tale of Love might be something that's a little bit of the change of pace that you're looking for. The game is due out this Friday as well, August the 27th. Next up, we have a brand new horror game, a psychological horror game in Tormented Souls. This is one that I've been talking about for a little bit. I believe it saw a delay or something like that. It's been in flux as far as when this game is going to come out, but that is coming to an end. It will be dropping this Friday. Survival horror inspired by the original Resident Evil and Alone in the Dark series with a fresh twist on the fixed perspective adventure. Tormented Souls modernizes it for a new generation as Caroline Walker investigates the mysterious disappearance of twin girls in a terrifying mansion. There is a demo available for this on PC if you do want to check it out. Definitely a throwback to some of the classic horror titles, and I think they were going for that. Tormented Souls deliberately sets out to draw inspiration from classic survival horror, from Resident Evil and Silent Hill to Alone in the Dark. Tormented Souls is a modern take on the fixed perspective adventure, offering a modernized control scheme and a more dynamic camera while retaining everything that made those games so beloved by fans. I think the more dynamic camera is something that people are really going to appreciate, because if you play some of those classic horror games, yikes, is the camera one of the biggest drawbacks to those games. But if you're going to modernize it with that being included, I think that is going to help it for a 2021 audiences. The game also notes deadly combat, dark forces, and unspeakable horrors will do everything in their power to stop Caroline getting to the truth. Use anything and everything that you can find to fight back against the evils and wait in the darkness. Keep your wits about you. There's going to be puzzles, and you'll have to use every resource available to explore the secrets of the mansions and its ground. And again, there's going to be quite a bit of variety in the puzzles as well. So we'll see how this one turns out. This is a horror game that I've been looking forward to for a little bit. It's dropping this Friday. Next up, we have an adventure mystery game and murder mystery machine. Join the distinct crime agency in this isometric modern noir deduction thriller. Explore crime scenes and complex dioramas, organize your evidence effectively, and blur the lines between right and wrong to present your case. Do you have what it takes to be a real detective? Visually, the game is definitely nothing that is super standout, but if you're a fan of more mystery titles with a lot of deducing, I think that is going to be I think that's going to be right up your alley if you are into those kinds of games and the detective style of gameplay. Murder Mystery Machine is due out on August the 25th. And lastly, a pretty major release coming from Double Fine Productions, and yes, Xbox Game Studios is the publisher. We have Psychonauts 2, combining quirky missions and mysterious conspiracies. Psychonauts 2 is a platform adventure game with a cinematic style and tons of customizable psychic powers. Obviously, since the Double Fine acquisition by Xbox Game Studios kind of came together towards the midst of the development of this game, Psychonauts 2 was still allowed to be released on the PlayStation 4 because it was helped funded through crowdfunding, so that's good to see. The game is going to be $60, which I think is going to be a little bit of a hard sell when it is also going to be available on Xbox Game Pass. If you're not going to pick it up right away, definitely something to keep on your radar down the line when it does go on sale, because I do think this is going to be a pretty great game. Psychonauts 1 was really good, and people have been looking forward to Psychonauts 2 for quite a while, and now it's finally going to be happening, and it's dropping tomorrow on August 25th, so be on the lookout for that. Definitely one that I think is going to be a quality title, and hey, even though this possibly is Double Fine's last outing on PlayStation, hopefully it is a banger to go out with. That's gonna wrap up this one. Let me know what you guys are picking up this week, if anything. I know a lot of you guys are probably saving for September, where, you have Tales of Arise, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which a lot of people noted I did not mention. I totally thought that game was still scheduled for August, and then I realized, yeah, it got delayed until September. So, yeah, September's got a lot of good stuff. Deathloop as well, The Medium, if you're picking that up, Lost Judgment, a lot of great stuff in September, but we're rounding out August in a pretty nice way with some nice releases. But that's gonna wrap up this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.